We ain't fancy like that around here. We ain't like Applebee's. And this is what happens when bicyclists decide to go down the road. Come here. Hey y'all, I am Shelby, the Fit Foodie Farmer, and I am out here about to up pot and pinch some zinnias today. It is a beautiful morning this morning, so I figured I would take advantage of it. So I have got some of these 6-pack trays that I'm going to up pot some of my zinnias into. I planted them in these 200 cell trays, and I've actually got a video of why I'm doing it this way and the germination, and I'll put a card up here and you can check that out. But these zinnias are actually a little small. Some of them are a little small to be transplanting out, but in my opinion, if I have the time and if I have spare time to do it, I'm going to go ahead and get it done because one of my friends needs a flat of zinnias, and so I figured I'm going to go ahead and up pot a mix for her and get that ready to go, so whenever they are ready to pick them up, they can. And the reason that I have so much time is Kurt's out of town this weekend, so I'm trying to catch up on a lot of things that I put off just to spend a little bit of time with him, because we don't get a whole lot of time by the time I get off work and he gets off work. So I'm going to go ahead and get working on this, and I'll take y'all along, and then I'm going to go up to the house and show you what I'm going to be doing to the zinnias that I've already transplanted out. So I was actually kind of surprised. These are pretty well I'm not going to say root bound, but big enough just like this to pull straight up and it all comes out. So the roots are a little bit more formed than what I thought they would be for such a small little flower. So that's exactly the way that I want them. And I planted these maybe 2 weeks ago, so I'm good to go right now. This is the way I want to transplant them out, so I can pull them up and the whole thing comes out. Down here where you can see me. Okay, my camera cut off because it was pretty toasty out here. The sun started beating down. But what I'm doing with the 200 seed tray, I am taking a nifty paintbrush here, and I'm sure you can get something fancy like a plug popper or something like that. We ain't fancy like that around here. We ain't like Applebee's. So I'm just getting my nifty paintbrush. You can get whatever you have, and I'm gonna take the bottom here, you can see this, and just kind of loosen that soil up. And then I'm gonna take, there's a hole at the bottom, so I'm gonna take my paintbrush and I'm just gonna pop him right out. And you can see if it's got a strong root system, it should come out together. If it's a little smaller, it may not. Like this one didn't come out all as one. So there is what happens when you pop them out with this. I think what I might try next though is not squeezing them, because I haven't been squeezing the bottom of the seed tray here. So let me see if I don't squeeze it, if it'll work better. Let me get a little bit closer so you can see. So I'm gonna be working with this little fella right here. So find the hole and just pops right up. So you can grab the stem, just be careful grabbing the stem Try not to break it off. And voila, that's all I'm doing. And then I'm plopping them right into their new little 6-pack home. So that's what I got going. I'm gonna finish this out. I've got about halfway to go, and then I'll show you what they look like at the end. Oh, and another thing too, instead of poking up through the bottom, if you're using like one of these 6-packs, they do have kind of like holes at the bottom. But what you can do also to get them out, and I don't know if I can do this with the camera way up there, so let me bring you in a little bit closer. So something else you can do is if you find one you want, you can go in from the top and take your paintbrush or your pencil, go in from the top and kind of just scoop to the side, and then you'll have another full little bunch that you can just plop down in. So super easy if that's something that you're wanting to do. That's a little tip or trick that I've learned just to kind of make it go a little bit quicker. The bigger they are, I will say, the bigger the root ball will be, so it's easier to take them out all in one piece. Because when they're not fully developed at the bottom, sometimes it doesn't come out all at one time. So if you're interested in doing that, or if you're just trying to transplant out some little seedlings that you bought, that's a good way to do it. So give that a try if that's something that you're doing at home. Sorry y'all, the sun keeps coming out and like killing my camera. So this is the newly up potted zinnias in 6-packs. So what I'm gonna do is, there was one that I seen that was kind of leaning a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in through here and I'm just going to kind of pack them down so they're nice and tight in their new cells. And I might come in and sprinkle some extra soil, because you can see some of these that are a little bit smaller, the soil level is down a little bit, so I want it to kind of be even across. So I'm just going to poke everything down, make sure everything's nice and tight, top with a little bit of soil, and then I'm going to give a little bit of water. Yeah, see that one right there? That little guy's kind of leaning, so I'm going to pack him in and then put some more soil and then water them and be done with them. And then I've got a full flat of zinnias. Alright, I got everybody topped off with soil and watered in, so that is what my completed flat looks like. So I think what I'm going to do is, just because the sun is so intense right now, I'm going to put it like right over here in the shade, just for today. That way they don't like fry because of the transplant shock or anything like that. So I'm going to let them kind of rest, not be fried by the sun. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go up to the house and I'm going to show you how I am planning on pruning my zinnias, or pinching them. So stay tuned. Okay, so y'all do not make fun of this bed right here. I've got some boards up all around as trying to be a chicken deterrent. That did not really work. I've got some spinach, lettuce, and orich in here. I guess that's how you say that, orich, whatever. This was my lettuce bed back in like January, February. Everything was doing great. We got a snow and it killed off everything, but the orich, spinach, and a couple heads of lettuce still came back. So I'll get out of the way. There's a big head of lettuce, some spinach right over there, the orich that's like lime greens right there, and then obviously some weeds. But here are Here are all my little zinnias that I planted in amongst them. I figured I'd leave the lettuce and the spinach because I can use those in some salads before the zinnias really branch out and get too big. So let me show you what I'm going to do with them. Okay, so the reasoning behind pinching your zinnias, much like some of your other plants, is instead of having one leader or one stem of the plant just growing straight out, if you pinch it and just basically cut the top off of it, that's all it means, you're encouraging that plant to form new branches and branch out and be bushier. So that's the reason that I am going to try this year for the first time pinching my zinnias, and I'm going to not really pinch them but cut them with these little snipper things. And see how it goes. Last year I had a zinnia planted beside of my rose bush over there, and that was the first year I'd done zinnias, didn't know anything about them, and I didn't prune them, pinch them, anything. I just kind of deadheaded the dead flowers off, and it was beautiful and it did fine. So you don't have to do this. If you just want to plant your zinnias and leave them, do it, that's fine. If you want to encourage some more branches to have more flowers and more bushes, give it a shot or do half and half. So let me show you how I'm going to do this. Okay, so we've got our zinnia flower planted right here, and you can see that there is a couple sets of leaves right through here. I think I'm going to leave a couple sets of these leaves, so we've got about 1, 2, and 3, and I'm just going to come in here right about right there, and I'm just going to snip off the top, and that may not be enough, but we're going to see how it goes. This one has about 1, 2, and 3, so I'm just going to snip just the very top off of him. And this one over here, I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to leave about 4 on him, and that's it. That's how you pinch zinnias. Just pinched all of the zinnias in my little redneck raised bed right here. I've got all of the tops right here that I'm going to compost. But I've seen Jill do this method over at Whispering Willow Farm, and I will link her in the description below. But she talks about how beneficial pinching your zinnias are and how much fuller and bushier they get. So I have high hopes for these. I hope they do well. I'll try to keep y'all posted. No promises. This YouTube and stuff, it's a whirlwind. So I'll try to at least maybe post it on my Instagram story. So if y'all don't follow me, there's a link in the description to my page to that also. I post more kind of candid pictures of just random flowers and vegetables, so if you're interested in just seeing things on a daily basis, I do post more stories and stuff on there. So but I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Hope you enjoyed this video about all things zinnias. I hope you grow beautiful things and enjoy your growing season this year, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye y'all.